Well, what's going on, everybody? Giant Opinion Sports. I got another draft profile for you today. But before I get into that, hit that like button. Help a brother out. If you're new, I mainly do Giants content, but from now to the draft, I'll have these types of videos, so subscribe to the channel. Your team will most likely draft one or two of these guys that I scout. But today, we're going to talk about Mississippi State left tackle Charles Cross. And he is a very intriguing prospect. Now, when I watch the tape, I see no overall red flags with this guy. A few concerns that we'll go over, but I guess I'll just start with his size. He's listed at 6'5", 305 pounds. Now, I like his length. I mean, it is prototype length, but he is a little light in the rear end, if you know what I'm saying. And I think it shows up once in a while on tape. I definitely think he's going to have to put on 10 to 15 pounds in the NFL. Could he stay where he is and be okay at left tackle? Sure. But I just have this sneaky suspicion that Cross is going to go in that top 10 to 15 kind of area. So there's going to be, higher expectations on him. I also think he could handle the extra weight. He's got a quick first step, great burst. Overall, not the fastest guy, but his first step is nice. So with that being said, I don't think that 10, 15 pounds would really bog him down too much. I almost like him to remain at left tackle. He just seems so natural there. Obviously, I've never seen him on the right side. Maybe it's the same there, but man, I hate to move him. But what pops up to me on tape instantly was his fluidity. He looks so smooth and controlled. He's definitely like the Cadillac of all these tackle prospects coming out. And his awareness is excellent. He never misses on stunts, delayed blitzes, A+ in that area. And us Giants fans, we've firsthand seen what a tackle that can't identify and pick up stunts can do to your offense. So I don't think that will ever be a problem with Charles Cross in the NFL. And out of the three tackles I've scouted so far, Neil, Iquanu, and now Charles Cross is substantially more advanced awareness-wise than the rest. Now, I don't know what the hell kind of offense they run in Mississippi State. I guess if you press me, I guess you could call it an air raid. They don't run much, and when they do run it, it's basically duo every run play. And duo is when two offensive linemen will block one defensive lineman at the same time. And after the block is done properly, one of the linemen will release, slip up, sneak up, whatever you want to say, to the second level. Now, Cross did this well. The Giants do run this quite often, but it was like the only run play in the playbook. It was aggravating to watch, I gotta be honest with you. So schematically, it's a question mark. What was on the tape, though, told me he's not a mauler, so don't get me wrong, like, there's good plays on tape where he gets pancakes and he's getting some push. I just wished he was moving people a little bit better. And that's where I circle back to the putting on some weight. So you just think you get a little bit stronger, a little bit more weight, that would help in that department as well. Now, I like his punch. His timing seemed good. Maybe a little late once in a while, but he, had good location. A few plays I saw his hands too far to the outside, out of place. Occasionally too high. And as an ex-defensive lineman, I love tackles that did that. If I can get my hands up under your elbows, I can pick your arm up and then I can turn your body. I can control you, basically. I have all the leverage and I'm going to get my way. So I'm not saying Cross has issues like we saw at Andrew Thomas, his rookie year. Just something I saw occasionally. Don't think it'll be an issue in the NFL. He's also allowed some D linemen to get into his body occasionally. But they are running a lot of jump sets there, so you're meeting at the line mano a mano, so that's going to happen. But he actually fared well in those situations. Cross just doesn't get beat very often. He plays really good, like spin moves, really all pass rushing moves. He's very crafty. It really don't work with him. So if you told me in 3 years Cross was the best pass protector out of this entire tackle class, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I just don't see huge upside in his run blocking, and his body is underdeveloped, like I said earlier. Everything I've seen with Cross is coachable, though. I think he's a fine prospect. I think he'd be fine sliding him over to the right side, but again, I really like him at the left tackle. Because of the Giants, he's going to have to move, but pick 5 or pick 7 seem a bit low to take Cross. The Giants could move back, take him in that 10 to 12th area. I'd like it a lot better, but to be fair, if he bulks up and reaches his ceiling, no one's going to complain about him taking one of the first 2 picks in the Giants. So offensive tackles, they'll use 3 sets. There's a jump set, which is basically on a body. It's used on like play actions and 3-step. You want to get your hands on the defender as quick as possible. You got to keep your pads down and try to sell the run. And just get your feet in the ground as quick as you can. Charles Cross was great And they ran a lot of that there. Most of it was jump sets or 45-degree sets. And as long as you don't get too wide on your defender, you're fine, because naturally, if you get too wide on them jump sets, you open up the inside. I didn't see that happen a lot. But also, Mississippi State gave a lot of help. The left guard was sliding over to help cross with that inside a lot. So I think if the next scheme comes in and they run a lot of jump set stuff, 3-step drop kind of stuff, I think he'd be great. He'd be really good in that spot. Now, 45-degree set is kind of like a jump set in some ways. It's just off the body, which they did run a lot of that there, which is almost like their vertical sets. They use that for everything as they pass so much. And the problem in a 45-degree set is if you try to jump a defender and he's too far away, you're going to get beat to the inside. And that's something I never saw him do. So that's good to know. That's great. There was a little slight bugaboo, though. On them 45-degree sets, you really want to see the second step and then making contact. Cross would sneak in an extra third step there. Didn't really hurt him. Sometimes that can get you beat on the inside instead of the outside. But he's got a tight core. He's got good balance, so that really helps. So he ran them 45-degree sets very naturally, too. Again, we didn't see many vertical sets from him. So when you get the NFL, that's probably the most common sets for all tackles. So that's where I think the weight would help him. If a new coaching scheme comes in for the Giants and they run a lot of vertical sets for tackles, you're going to be a lot closer to the quarterback. You're more apt to get bull rushed. And the NFC East has a lot of great pass rushers through all the teams. I think his athleticism is fine. Just once he bulks up, I don't see a problem him running more vertical sets in the NFL. And I think it's possible with his little extra step he gets, he could see him struggle a little bit with inside stuff. But that's pretty common, pretty usual for rookie tackles. I think the timing on his punch is good enough. I don't see him dropping his hands too much, so I think he's good to go. I think you could plug him in and play him, honestly. I just wanted to bring up the sets for you guys just to show you how I'm personally evaluating the things I'm looking for. Maybe you could see some of the same kind of things that I'm seeing. But overall, great player. I love him. I was very surprised because I really didn't hear too much about him, and I really think he should be getting that top 10 consideration. And he's just so silky smooth, man. So the Giants pick comes at the 5 and 7. If both them high-end pass rushers are gone, say if Evan Neal's gone, I have no problem with the Giants taking Charles Cross. He's plug and play is what the Giants need. That's what you get. Just maybe you get them in there, an NFL regiment where they can just focus on working on their body constantly every day. Would really do a lot for him. So that's it for me. I don't know how many more of these tackles I'm going to do. I think I'll probably run through at least a couple more, and then I'll probably do a few guards. I don't want to get out of control with it. Then I can start moving on with some of these edge rushers here. So that's it for me. Like, subscribe, and peace.